Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm Captain Solanum.
Yes.
Solanum stands for Anum.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. And we've been doing it for 2 years, guys. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Woo!
Is there cake?
Cake's a lie.
No.
You're full of lies.
Yes.
And cake?
Quick, get him, guys. Cut to, horrible,
It was him.
ripping sounds.
Let's get him, fellas.
Yeah. So for our birthday episode, over the course of this year, we've had a couple of creepypastas that we were hoping would be about aliens. Totally not about aliens. And
then we got one recommended to us because it was supposed to have aliens, and it totally didn't have aliens.
Yeah. And then we got this. Well, are you referencing this one or?
No, the other one.
Yeah, the one with the abduction thing. And then somebody gave us another one. It's hopefully, this one will definitely have aliens,
totally
guys.
has aliens.
And I mean, it does, but we'll get into that. So thank you, listener.
Thank you, all listeners.
Really. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who's been listening to our shenanigans for the last 2 years.
Or who
Thank you,
listened to
every
2
listener.
years
We
over
should
the
just call
course
him
of
by
the
name.
past couple of
There's only the
months.
one, right?
Yeah, as some of them have done.
I've recently discovered.
Yeah,
We can't all be there from the beginning.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, we had to be, but...
Yeah, I mean, Captain Solenum, I'm looking at you. We're getting in on certain episodes. Anyways, but yeah, so for this week we're doing one that was recommended because it totally has aliens.
Star bright, first star I see tonight. No? All right.
Yeah, all right.
There's no
One of us had to
wishes in
say.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're doing Starlight by Ben Cook. You can check it out at
very little actual starlight.
yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what? Actually, I don't.
It's never
It's never even mentioned.
Yeah.
In fact, the big thing reveal. Anyway, yeah, we'll get into that. CreepyPasta.com. Go check it out. There's a bunch of readings on it. I'll leave a link of one in the description below. All right, so we start off. The story is a guy named Thomas Everick explaining or narrating the events thus far. It starts in Russia in 2012 with a few isolated attacks. People don't take it too serious at first until it starts happening in broad daylight and a lot more often. And it's essentially just people are getting eviscerated by seemingly nothing. It's just happening. So Russia goes into lockdown after...
First, it starts with the finding of these horribly mutilated corpses.
Yeah.
Period.
And then they find out that it's
And then, someone sees it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done by apparently nothing.
Yeah. And then after a big thing in Moscow, where people are being warded off, and then they just start exploding into gore. Russia goes into lockdown, as do many other countries, and life goes on for a little bit. Then a couple of months later, while Tom and his friends are out and having a conversation, his closest friend Rick just explodes into gore in front of him. Oh, is it Ryan? Sorry, shit, Ryan. And the killings start happening everywhere, and Tom and his family are, along with many others, are evacuated to safe locations. While in their bunker, they watch pirate news stations.
Rogue pirate news station.
Yes, rogue pirate news stations that are
On the outside of the law.
that are established to
Rogue pirates. That makes them just regular news stations, right?
and just to give updates on the outside world and what's going on. However, eventually one of these days, an anchor who's cracked and is religious or starts spouting religion, and possibly knows the answer to how to survive all this, gets cut down on the desk before he can even
So
say.
clearly he's wrong.
Yeah, because it really didn't save him.
Exactly. So he clearly does not know what the fuck he's talking about. They're
Well, he is
allergic
kinda-
to water.
Damn it!
That's
away.
what he thought.
Swing away.
I saw that Shyamalan movie.
Swing away.
So yeah, apparently the station's still broadcasting and just of a corpse.
Well, because if no one
No one's
shuts
there to
everything off, then yes, it's going to broadcast
Fair.
until the power fails, basically.
And
Or until
so
something fucks up.
exactly.
I don't know how much.
Like a power plant facility going meltdown and exploding.
Well, no, he never specifically says it explodes.
He said it went into
He
meltdown.
does say that it went into a meltdown and that there's a crater left behind.
Yeah.
Which does imply that it explodes, which doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
we can touch onto that when you're finished reading.
Yeah, we will. So one night, so they just kind of like exist in this bunker in their own private little world, not getting any updates on the outside world. But then one night, Tom wakes up to a scream and sees an inverted shadow of a tall, thin humanoid figure that. Well, he sees the shadow. He doesn't see the shadow of light on the wall, but doesn't see something causing it. But it just floats through the room and then goes out the doorway. And so terrified, he goes back to bed and tries to just waits it out till daytime. Day comes and he discovers that he's the only one who's been spared of an entire massacre. Like his parents, everyone, all these hundreds of people that were sleeping on the floor of this bunker basement. Which another thing, I understand it's 100 people, but you think they'd have cots and stuff.
I didn't think they ever gave us a description of how many people were there.
He
I thought
said
it was
hundreds.
he said hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, it's also a hastily
That is true, yeah. It could be
set up little refuge for as many people as they can cram into a space. So you know what? They probably do have cots. Not everyone gets one.
that's fair. All right. Yeah.
And since this guy is, relatively young and healthy, he's not going to get one.
Yeah.
That's going to be for older people and, just in general, people who require more comfort.
Yeah.
Unless he took it from an older person.
Which he would have gotten the hell down.
Yeah, because the guards seem to be keeping a tight lid on things and stuff.
The basically non-existent guards.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, they're totally
they're
existent. They just don't do anything
Yeah.
other than maintain order. To the
I think they-
strictest
and then-
idea.
and
I
then-
think they all wear red shirts is the big problem.
I think everyone's like
Everyone on the
Without
planet
even a
was
name
wearing,
tag.
everyone on the planet was wearing red shirts in this story.
we're all ensigns.
Yeah. So, yeah, he survives this massacre and seems to be being toyed with. They don't kill him.
He doesn't survive it. He doesn't get killed.
Yeah.
Because surviving
Yeah, sorry,
implies that he does something active.
No, and he doesn't. He was spared. They for some reason spared him and he has no idea why.
Yeah, and it's so odd. He sees the alien, and I was like, oh, I'll just go back to sleep.
To be fair, that would probably, if I saw an alien in my room,
Okay, but here's the thing.
I'd
For
probably be
months
petrified.
leading up to this, there has been a build-up.
yeah.
First in Russia, and then, because, they always start in Russia. And then, throughout the world. He saw his friend explode in front of him.
Yeah.
Was covered in his friend. And, the Earth is literally under attack. Not under attack, but under assault.
Yeah.
Under siege,
There's an
if you
invasion
will.
going on.
And he sees something that is completely out of the ordinary. In the same vein of seeing your friend just suddenly, spontaneously explode in front of you.
Yeah.
And just rolls over and goes back to sleep, because he's all sweaty. When in actuality, he's covered
yeah.
in his parents.
Yeah, and okay, we'll get into that after the rundown, because we're not much left. Yeah, so after a few days of just living there, not getting killed, he grabs some supplies and ventures to a nearby village, and lives in the
He sees one again.
yeah.
And that's when he figured.
Yeah, and then he lives in the darkness of a basement. And then he thinks he knows what's going on. They're energy beings of light, and that the only giveaway for them is that their shadows are light in darkness, like our shadows are in
He doesn't
day.
just jump to this conclusion. He makes he does. But
He makes a leap.
he makes an assumption because of science fiction that he's read.
Yeah,
Not just he doesn't go through the scientific process.
yeah. And then then after that, a new sun has appeared opposite our own sun, so that the Earth is no longer has night cycles. so that the darkness is no longer a haven for humanity when it comes to night. And then he leaves off the story, I guess, for anyone left alive to read it online or something like that, because I assume he's on like a laptop or something. I don't really know. It's not really explained very well. Or maybe it's just a letter that he wrote. And his fate is left uncertain because he sees a light underneath the door of the basement. And that's where we end the story. So, yeah. So my thoughts on this one, and I found a lot of plot holes. And for me, it was like, it's like, all of Russia isn't an icy wasteland.
No, but the northern climes of Russia are.
Yeah,
That's fair. However, I would like to point out that nobody goes on nature hikes through the icy tundra of Russia.
Well, I mean,
You couldn't even call it a nature hike because it was hikers that were initially the bodies discovered. Nobody hikes through the tundra. At the very best, they go snowshoeing, but
well, and I mean,
those would be scientific teams.
and when you do shit like that, like if you were to go for a walk, like it's officially a matter of survival at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to,
for a leisurely
you know,
jog.
yeah, you're not going to, see the sights. You're
Well, what are you
going
doing
for
afterwards?
scientific
Oh, I was thinking I'd stop by the tundra for a quick hike and then go home, cook dinner.
yeah. Maybe stop by the mall, either on my way to or from the tundra.
Well, there's one like adjacent to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tundra mall.
Yeah, so there was that. When he mentions he checked out the darker parts of the web, I immediately thought of like the dark web, and I was like, you really don't need to use that, or even the darker part of the web. Like, you don't even need to describe it that way. Just go to YouTube, because at this point, like, that shit would be on YouTube. Like, look at what happened when the meteor hit, meteor exploded over Russia. How many videos there were of that? How many videos there are on YouTube of that people were watching on YouTube or even other video streaming sites when terrorists were hacking people's heads off.
Yeah, it's not something that you have to go search for. You
in
have
a
to
dark part of the universe,
find
of the
a
internet.
computer with a device with an internet connection, and go to Google.
Exactly, just Google
You
it.
will
yeah.
find a lot of it.
Yeah, this isn't like the old days where you had to be a hacker just to be able to find anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
'Cause-
it begs the question of how much a media blackout is possible. Like, how much footage can escape Russia if they say
All it has
kibosh
to do
on
is get
all
onto
it.
the internet.
That's
though,
true.
And then
Yeah.
it's gone. And something like that, it's going to go viral in minutes.
Yeah.
Because all it'll take is one person finding it, and then...
Share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, one person with a cell phone needs to know someone outside of Russia
Yeah.
and have them on Facebook. And then,
Cousin,
bam.
here you go.
or send it as a multimedia message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I hear what you're saying, and I think that was part of the reason why they chose for this to start in Russia, because if somewhere in that part of the northern hemisphere would have a media blackout, yeah, Russia's the default go-to.
Yeah.
Ever since, the Cold War in the 80s and shit. Well, the whole Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Even more in the 80s, but that's when I found out about it. That's when I was alive.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. The nuclear plant would not explode
No.
in the event of
They're
a
safe
meltdown.
like that.
So I don't really think there'd be a crater. Like, look at Pripyat, or Chernobyl, sorry. The worst that would happen is that it would just be inhospitable to human life because there'd be a lot of radiation in the area.
But
It wouldn't be a visible
Life
crater.
will always
Go on.
find a way.
Right there. Thank you, Jeff Goldblum. Or sorry, Ian Malcolm. So yeah, he says a red giant just suddenly appears in system parallel or opposite to our own sun, so that the world is bathed in light. I'm pretty sure it's also going to be bathed in radiation and heat, and the fact that we don't have a night cycle is the least of our problems at that point. Because I'm pretty sure we're being.
say that it's right beside us.
I know, but it doesn't say where it is, which.
Yeah, it doesn't say where. I'm sorry, does our fucking protagonist get in a fucking spaceship and go
All right,
chart it out?
fair enough, yeah.
He doesn't know where
Hang on. I do have some more on that. On the other hand, it has I've heard in several sci-fi stories like Stargate SG-1 and stuff like that, where they talk about turning Jupiter into a star to better the solar system for terraforming and stuff like that. So if it maybe out there, or even And actually, Mikey, I think you actually brought something earlier, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah. Like,
just in my notes here. For starters, the only way it would be a full day of sunlight is if you could get it to basically be between the sun and both suns at the same time. But
So then-
gravity doesn't work that way.
Well,
You'd-
Because
red
we
sun would have
rotate
to-
around.
yeah.
So the
red sun
would have to be
in a
the same-
geosynchronous orbit with
Earth.
Earth.
Well, it would have to be in the same orbit, but out further,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means it would have to be traveling
Yeah. And
ridiculously fast. Because we travel ridiculously fast.
a red giant is more likely to do its own thing than
Then be
stuck in our own sun's
Now, that
gravity.
being said, it might not be a matter of, there is no night. It could be a matter of, like, yeah, we have a little bit of night, but no one fucking knows about it because everyone's too afraid to go outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the other thing is, if there is no night, all plant life on the planet will die in very short order. And I'm talking like a matter of, 1-2 weeks? Because they
Well,
need a night cycle.
The thing is, I loaded up Universe Sandbox, which is a game on Steam, and I just plopped a red giant right in our solar system around Pluto just to see what would happen. Because red giants are huge compared to the sun.
Like, if our sun goes red giant, we
Then we'll
are
be
in
inside of it.
Yeah, we're inside of its epicenter, or of its diameter. So,
And the Earth kept spinning around our sun, but the key takeaway is the temperature on the Earth rose to 900 degrees, effectively killing all life as we know it.
yeah.
Including the roaches. Mm-hmm. Even they can't handle 900 degrees. You go ahead and put them in the oven.
Take
300 degrees for 40 minutes? Perfect.
a little bit of salt.
She guys just making, like, title card fodder for me. And just gonna, you with an oven, just like, hey, guys.
Spice with depleted uranium.
Why an oven? Just fucking hold them up to the two sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Give yourself a little bit of shade.
Have the logo in the red sun. But yeah. So, yeah, Red Giant was a little bit overkill. Like, it could have been just like, oh, there's another light source, or like another like thing that's bathing the world in light. It didn't have to be another star.
Well, and the fact, again, is that this person never went up into orbit, never checked the shit out,
yeah.
may have just used the term red giant because, I don't know, maybe the fucking light was red.
That's true, yeah. That, and also, like, it could also just be that moon-sized thing that the scientists picked up.
Like, I understand that the story says it's a red fucking giant, but the story is written by someone who clearly doesn't have a lot of knowledge about astrophysics.
Yeah.
No.
And, how shit like that impacts things.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, yeah, it's unbelievable the way it's written, but its unbelievability is believably written.
Okay, yeah, like, because the character has
the ignorance in this story is excused because of the format of the story. It's written like as someone who doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Like this person is in university.
Yeah.
Like, for all we know, they're in political sciences.
They study psychology.
Or archaeology or some shit like that. Like, they don't, like, they're clearly not an astrophysicist. They clearly, and I mean, like, spot a red giant from the surface of the Earth with your naked eye. Like, if it gives off a red light, you're going to call it a red giant. Why? Because we all know that term.
Fair.
Now,
Yeah, it could be a red dwarf.
Now, I was thinking about what could have potentially happened, and just him not being knowledgeable, which is essentially the old saying, red at night, sailors of light, red in the morning, sailors take warning. So it's his first time seeing the sunrise, and he's lost track of time because he's the only one. He's doing things for himself, and he sees this red sun. It's still the same sun, but he thinks it's different.
Yeah, that's plausible.
Maybe.
It also could have been Red Dwarf.
Also, I mean, theoretically, we're dealing with, beings of pure energy. So what if their ship, for lack of a better term, is pure energy and massive so that it can contain their entire society, and it's in orbit.
Yeah.
And it's in orbit on the dark side of Earth.
And then it just starts glowing.
Well, it always glowed.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Or glue. I don't know. It was always glowing.
Yeah.
But now it's close enough to shed the light on the night side of the Earth.
Yeah, because otherwise they don't...
I think that's a totally... But he's only going to see a sun.
Yeah, because that's what he sees. That's what that's what he knows. So
it's a ball of light in the sky.
Yeah.
And what is that to everyone? It's a sun.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's something significantly smaller than a sun, which would also be giving off less energy or less heat. It's never touched upon in the story, and for that, I can't really say that this possibility fixes the story. Mm-hmm. But in my head, that's where I went. So,
to be fair,
for me, it fixed the story. I'm not gonna say that your gripe is invalid, though, because with what we're given.
To be fair, it would actually give some gives some credence to why, he even mentions that there's this giant energy anomaly that scientists have picked up above Earth that's about the size of a small moon. And then it's just never really touched upon.
It's a space station.
And the other thing I had with that is if we can pick up the energy, this thing's giving off huge amounts of energy and stuff.
We would have found it a lot sooner.
Also, so why can't and if this thing's tied to these beings that are showing up on planet, maybe there's a way that we can actually detect them then? Geiger counter or something, or along that line of energy detection?
That's a problem that I've got, is energy detection. Okay, we can't just detect random joules of energy.
This is not Star Trek.
Yeah.
We detect it as heat. We detect it as photovoltaics. We can tell how strong the sun's light is by reading its ultraviolet light. Yeah. We can radiation with Geiger counters. We can do all of these measurements to measure an output of energy, but we can't just detect energy. So that it breaks me a little bit, because
it would be an output of some description from the ship.
Well, yeah, but a news report going on about this ship that's got a huge output of energy, they're not going to say just a huge output of energy. They're going to tell you what kind of energy, how we're reading it, because that's the information as it would be given to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when he just says huge,
he just
generalizing it like that kind of takes me out of it a lot.
Yeah.
There's no believability because there's no real description there.
Mm-hmm. It's someone who knows a lot more about Star Trek than they do about science.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You run into that a lot here.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the
party.
Usually I'm just here for the Slender vlogs.
And the Laughing Jack.
Oh, yeah, there was that.
That was the first one. The aliens, being made of energy and made of light and, being invisible to us and then, just able to, essentially wipe us out because we can't do anything about it is a really cool and creepy idea for an invasion.
It almost is. It almost is. But
yeah.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, there's light in this room.
Yeah.
I've added more light. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see its source?
Yeah.
All right.
For the odds at home, Leviathan just pulled up a flashlight. Yeah,
that's why I told them what I was doing when I said I added more light.
Clear. Yeah, but again,
light is a thing that we don't need instruments to measure a drastic increase of.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're beings of pure energy. We're going to have a sense of that. Either we're going to feel the heat, or we're going to see the light, or because
or the hairs on our arms are going to stand on end because of the static discharge.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll smell
I get that. There has to be some kind of way of detecting them, because
if there is energy, it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm. And the idea of it, they have shadows, but they're inverted shadows. Our shadows appear in a light thing, or a lit environment, and we cast a shadow. They cast a shadow in darkness. That's a cool, creepy thing to find out. But that seemed to be the only kind of like that. Again, it seemed to be building up to that revelation.
And as a horror
And
story,
not really-
the concept isn't bad, but you can't go I just don't feel like you can go the science route with it. You've really got to look at it as though it's more of an eldritch creature, like some sort of magic or divine.
Something that doesn't have to follow the rules of physics.
Exactly.
Because it transcends them because it does.
Exactly.
Not it transcends them because I'm ignorant of the laws of physics.
Yeah, or I watched a lot of sci-fi shows because honestly, the other creature of again Stargate kept coming to my mind because they resemble a lot of the Ascended, the beings that came before humanity and all the other alien races, and like created the Stargates and stuff. Like they ascended to a light energy form, and some of them were bad and like started wiping them out, wiping normal people out because they perceived themselves as gods. So yeah, I was seeing a lot of like sci-fi like mumbo jumbo like from shows and from fiction and stuff like that, but not actual like science in the story. Which
Heavy
is
on the
kind of-
fiction, light on the science.
Yeah.
That said, oh no, you've got stuff. Keep going.
Oh, well, it's not a whole lot more. Like it's
Sorry, my wheels are still turning. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, writing wise, I thought it was pretty good, except for a few things. Otherwise, like I feel like this guy just didn't do his homework on a lot of facts that he was pumping out. He was just using he was using pop culture and fictional.
He was
facts.
using techno jargon from sci-fi shows as opposed to like
Actually doing
energy
research.
readings
Yeah, actually
from
doing
deep space.
Yeah, or like
Nine.
oh well, nukes go off and create a crater, so obviously
A nuclear power plant
will
is going to go off
in a bang.
The dark blogger sphere.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and that's the common misconception and fear about nuclear power plants is that they'll blow up.
But yeah, they won't. They'll
They
just
don't.
They
blow
just
up.
they melt down.
and they
That's-
emit radiation to the
Yeah,
area.
I mean, look at 3 Mile Island. Look at Chernobyl. Look at the Japanese one. Like they melt down.
And these are the the ones where shit went wrong. Like not just people stopped
Yeah.
Going to work.
Yeah.
to work because they had blown up
I actually-
on route.
Okay, so
Yes.
you were talking about no big problems with the writing.
Okay. Well, I didn't say there was. I said there were problems with the writing, but otherwise, I thought the writing was pretty good.
Okay,
Like to read, anyways. Was
he
readable.
really needs a thesaurus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many.
You touched on that earlier. Yeah.
So many
Okay,
of our things.
really needs a thesaurus. But more than that, there were a couple of other problems that I had. There were several just plain awkward sentences. Like, just delete, retry, please. Things like when he's talking to Ryan about what video game they're going to play next online. Like, give me something. Give me something else, because that's a really bland conversation for you to have as your last conversation
With your closest friend.
And you would think you would remember the exact last words.
Yeah, like
that
do
you
a
had with
quote.
them.
Like, should we play, Call of Duty? Or,
And then-
no, but I just got Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battle. Blah!
Exactly. Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront!
and then right after that, he goes on to describe that he was basically out of commission for like 15 minutes. Okay, but you're not going to be keeping track of time. Like, the first thing you do when you're back in commission, is it going to be to check your watch and see
Yeah,
how long
okay.
you've been on your knees for?
Sorry, yeah, that's another thing. Actually, I'll bring up too, because through the course of the story, he also says well, they're not, at the beginning when all these things are happening, he's watching them online and stuff. He's like, but I prepped myself. Really.
Yes. Actually, that's the line that I was looking up when
He's like,
on the computer here.
Luckily, I was prepared for it.
Yeah. I had to see blah 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 blah. Darker parts of the internet. I gagged a little at the sight, despite having been reinforced against this sort of thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean against this sort of thing?
It's
this sort of
very-
thing has never happened before. How do you
now-
reinforce yourself against this?
I think I remember reading that part, and I was like,
But
there needs to be another sentence here, or a longer, there needs to be something either tacked onto the sentence, or another sentence completely.
Yeah.
Because, yes, we have all seen a lot of people just blow up, kind of not necessarily spontaneously, but there are a lot of movies and shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
Saving
And
Private
that-
Ryan.
And that,
Or even,
sci-fi shit.
Yeah.
or
like-
even in the news media, people get their heads hacked off, or blown up,
Okay,
or
you might be
horrible things.
desensitized to violence,
Yeah.
but this
Yeah.
is still
Yeah.
completely out of that wheelhouse.
Yeah, I completely agree because of the fact that media,
But I think that
you get
that's what this should
desensitized
have
to.
been.
But when something happens to you, it fucks you up.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I think that's what was trying to be said.
He
was
just didn't
that
say it.
it had been like he should have been, girded against this because of watching movies and shit. But no, he really wasn't.
Yeah, he just says like, but luckily I was mentally like reinforced for this, so I was able to not like throw up.
Yeah,
when he watches
it
all these
sounds
videos.
like
so,
he's
yeah.
been like, one day people are just going to start blowing up. I'm ready for that. That's what he wrote.
I can accept
That's
that.
what he wrote. He wrote that event happened in his past. People are going to blow up. I'm going to be ready.
He does say it's like I always thought I'd be ready for this. Like I always thought it would be like the action movies where like I'd analyze the mysteries and I'd save the day.
That is that's it. It could have gone with some better or some like more writing, where like because I mean.
Maybe some proofreading.
To be fair, we've all kind of had that like, fantasy.
Exactly. We've all watched Independence Day and
Like how we react to that
and
situation.
laughed at Jeff Goldblum, but thought, man, I would totally be Will Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'd be Jeff Goldblum.
Fair enough. It depends on the person.
Some
but
of us are a little more honest with ourselves than others.
Yeah. Welcome to Earth. Yeah, it's just there's like it's when I started reading it, it seemed like it was going to go somewhere interesting, and then as I read it, there was just so many plot holes and or just like so many holes in like the information that we were being given. But at the same time, like I feel like it can be saved. It just needs some editing. It just needs like somebody. It's needed somebody to look at it again, like so many other creepypastas.
Jesus Christ! You want to borrow my soapbox?
And yeah, I'll take it. And like just needs to be like just looked over again, like how we just did, like over the like all four of us, and just like, all right, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. This needs to be like. I feel like if it had just done that, like given it to somebody to look at and not just post it on the internet, again, it would have been a stronger piece.
Yeah.
Like it started off somewhat
Someone
strong to me.
say, dude, do you know what a fucking red giant is?
Exactly.
No,
Or-
then maybe you shouldn't have it in your fucking story,
Yeah, it's
man.
like- Did a nuke hit that power plant before? Like it's like no, it just went meltdown. That's not how that works. Like I just kept popping up things, and I think it's maybe just because we're a little bit more experienced, like, or a little bit more like world knowledgeable, or like we just a little bit more well read. Like the only reason I know about the meltdown thing is because I actually watched a documentary about what happens to Earth if we all just disappeared, and they even went into like, if power plants went off, or if nobody was there to check power plants, they'd emit a huge radiation field, and then in a couple of decades, the life would start resuming back into it. But yeah, like the same kind of stuff. Like all it needs is just even a Wikipedia like thing or something, or go online and like, what happens if a nuke if something goes meltdown. What happens?
You end up on a watch list.
What are you talking about? Woo! Shit, there ought to be. Yeah, like it just needs a little bit more. Like there need to be more homework done, more research done to this, not just using sci-fi text or sci-fi like references and.
Yeah, because technobabble can get
they
you a long way.
They aren't
but-
references. They're
No,
just
they're not-
technobabble.
Yeah,
And yeah, technobabble can get you a long way, but there has to be some, at least
Science to back up.
pseudoscience to back it up.
There has to be, and there has to be a limit. Like this one just has too much technobabble and not enough technology
Yeah.
and science behind it. Like, because you know what? All right, you wanna just throw out the term red giant? Fine, I'm willing to let that go. But we detected energy readings.
what energy?
Like
what kind of energy?
There's too much technobabble to just ignore, because technobabble is supposed to help you get along, not make you question. And when
Exactly.
there's so much technobabble, it's not helping you get along because you don't know where the fuck you're going because of all the technobabble.
Yeah. Like I liked the start of it where we were like
Really
people
like
are just exploding into blood and gore and so, or being eviscerated for no reason, and like the reaction was really cool. Like the scenes of like reaction to that were really nice and like narrated. But then like the holes just kept coming. So
Actually, my favorite part about that was they knew how long ago one of the
Yeah, the
sites
autopsy.
exploded because it had only been an hour. I'm like, dude, you don't know that.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows that. You're talking about a situation where, like, what remains are left are going to be frozen in minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
And that's going to throw off any medical examiner's, time frame. Like, yeah, they can narrow it down, but not to the same window that they can if the body is at room temperature.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Also-
they even have less to go with because there's no insect life, bacterial growth is...
because it's in an icy wasteland.
Exactly. So, I mean, from a forensics point of view, oh yeah, this happened an hour ago.
How do you...
How do you know? I don't know. It was completely frozen, but not completely frozen.
I think part of the problem there is that, and it comes back to this writer really seems to be stuck on the concept of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as 15 minutes. He was out of commission for 15 minutes. Well, who cares? The time frame doesn't matter at all.
Yeah,
No.
he could have easily just been like, I was just out and I woke up and the police were there.
It could have been 15
felt
minutes.
like an
It could have
eternity.
been a day.
And then I just remember I came to and the police were there.
Yeah.
It's like, freeze!
A lot of writers get hung up
Oh, yeah.
on the passage of time. Like
Yeah.
they need to have it as a timeline. And don't get me wrong, it's great for them to have it as a timeline as a writer, but you don't need to convey, especially imprecise statements like I was out of commission for 15 minutes.
16.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like when you make a statement like that, you're stating a fact, whereas, like, I don't know how long I was out of it, but I suddenly came to and the cops were there.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
well,
There
how
we
long
go.
did it take, Like,
yeah.
that's
The audience
better
can judge it
storytelling.
themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's better storytelling, because, you know what? Some people, maybe 15 minutes is a little quick for the cops to get there, or maybe, 5 minutes would have been more realistic.
Yeah.
So then, if you use a generalization... Well, for this reader it's 5 minutes. For this reader it's 15 minutes. And guess what? It doesn't fucking matter.
Because it's an opinionated thing that will make the reader a little bit more enjoy it a little bit more.
They
can
because when the
formulate
writer fills in simple, non-important gaps like that, it makes the story more personalized and
Yeah.
yada yada. It's like you don't describe down to every detail every scene, because having a generalized description allows me to see something a little bit different from everyone else.
Yeah.
And, I'm part of the story making process.
Yeah. I mean, you need to build up the setting, but you don't have to go into minute detail.
But
about
that's the other thing is I don't really feel like there was much of a setting built. Like we don't even know what country he's in.
Yeah, that's another thing that because he keeps referencing he called the next village over, and for some reason
I get
the
the
way his
impression-
writing was, I get the impression he's from the UK.
Yeah, well, and I mean he also refers to a flashlight as a torch.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So, you're if you know what to look for, you get the impression that he's British, but there's never any real reference whether he's in North America or Europe or
Yeah.
fucking Africa. Like he could be in a British settlement in Africa.
yeah, or in Australia.
Yeah, there's really no descriptions of the people, so I don't feel attached to any of the characters. Like I don't even have any idea what he looks like.
Also, how does he I mean, he's
I don't even know his parents' names.
No.
So,
Yeah.
him waking up covered in them?
Oh yeah, okay, and that's
Well, yeah,
so
no,
that was the other thing.
He
Yeah,
cared
wakes
less
up.
about his parents' death than he did his best friend's.
Yeah,
Although he
Hang on.
did cry for 3 days.
yeah, because he was because he was all alone in that bunker.
Sorry.
But he didn't wake up immediately. He just went back to bed when they were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
But
cried for 3
He cried
days.
for 3 days in a world where he can't tell the difference between day and night.
Yeah.
That hadn't happened yet.
Also, he said he'd been in that. Also, he said he'd been in that basement for days. And it's like, how do you know?
And
he'd
that's-
been in complete
okay.
darkness.
So
for
he's in
days.
an underground bunker for 3 days.
Yeah.
Not necessarily underground, but yeah, he was in
Yeah.
a bunker.
Sorry, the other thing actually I got to bring up is so when he wakes up, he's like, "Oh, I'm so damp and sticky. The bunker's kind of humid." So that, dude, you'd also smell
Yeah.
copper and gore and feces because if everyone around you was dead,
Yeah.
you're gonna smell that.
And if
Yeah.
you're covered in blood,
You're
it's
smelling
gonna
it.
dry.
and you're gonna smell
be
that.
sort of
Like
hard
caked,
moved
it's like all
Yeah.
caked on and stuff. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like you can't distinguish blood from
is
sweat.
being covered in the gooey parts of human remains is not the same as being
Covered in
soaked
sweat.
through with sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a profuse sweater. Like,
Oh, yeah, same.
when I'm sweaty, I'm real motherfucking sweaty. And even I can't produce enough sweat to feel like I'm covered in the gooey parts of human remains.
Yeah.
And I would also like to point out the smell when a person explodes.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what we were getting
The
at. Yeah.
cultist actually
Okay.
did that.
Sorry,
But yeah,
No, it's
sorry.
fine.
there's
My
gonna
mom
be
texted me.
Okay.
there's gonna be
I'll cut that.
that coppery smell of blood.
The rancid smell of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bile.
Exactly. Like just all manner of
stomach
bodily
contents.
fluids would be smelled.
Everything is all over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also just kind of like, it's like
Hell,
really?
you might be doing pretty good if the worst smell you've got in your nose at the time is copper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go back to bed into this pile of corpses, or this field of corpses in this room.
This puddle of corpse.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be like not only damp, there'd be like pools that you'd be like practically swimming in.
Well, and I mean, he's
hundreds of people
He's
there.
sleeping right between his parents, right?
Yeah,
He's gonna be in a fucking puddle of parent.
yeah.
However,
It's like a parent trap.
maybe he felt really comfortable because he had his parents' arms around him, like over here and over here and over there.
Arms around him, their spleens.
I was using that as a pillow. Oh, finally something comfortable to sit and immerse my head on. Oh, but yeah,
Like,
yeah, it just
and speaking of which, your pillow is gonna be gushy.
oh,
Like,
yeah, I am not going to bed. Like, I would not be going to bed after that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And the other thing is, he describes the one light in the room as being like far off, kind of down the hall, down the room.
yeah.
So then, why is he the only survivor?
Well, that's just
well,
it.
that-
Like,
that- that's the
conundrum.
mystery of the entire story.
is why did they spare him?
especially at the end.
And
Yeah.
like, are they toying with him? Is it out of pity?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not out of pity at this point.
But the impression that you get just from his writing, like, because he went out of his way to describe this evangelical guy on TV,
Yeah.
who says that the only way to protect yourself is to stay out of the blank, which is clearly supposed to be light.
Yeah.
No. It could be sins of the devil or something. You never know.
Okay, stay out of the brothels. Stay out of the brothels.
Casinos?
Stay out of the pools full of gasoline.
Stay out of the active volcano. But
All
no,
good
like,
survival tips.
Yeah.
true. No, but I'm sure you guys are with
He
me.
clearly didn't. I'm going to reiterate. He didn't know what the fuck to stay out of because he was right in it.
Yeah.
Well, he also said it was too late to save him.
Yeah.
Well, theoretically,
Eh.
maybe not.
Eh.
All I gotta say is, if he turned off the fucking lights, he might have had a fighting chance.
You're just paying attention to details that the writer didn't care about.
Yeah.
The logical ones.
So
And so it's pretty obvious that he means to say that stay out of the light and that's your only hope. But if so, he's not at the end of this room, the furthest end away from the light. So
Well, and people right beside him got blowed up.
exactly.
Everyone
so
except for
other
him got
people
killed.
in the room should have survived if that was valid.
yeah.
But it's not. So then
No.
that whole statement by the evangelical shouldn't have even bothered be putting in. Because it clearly doesn't protect you, so it's just...
Well, it could just be that
I
he's
guess
a
it's a
crazy
red
better
herring,
virus.
but-
yeah. Also, yeah, and then his like final warning to like
it's a
anybody who
really
reads this
stupid,
is like
pointless one.
yeah.
I don't think it was a red herring, because a red herring, in order to be a red herring, has to be intentional. I don't think it was intentional.
I think he was trying to go for the fact that it's like, yeah, stay out of the light because that's where they get you. Or at least that was his inner like thinking about how these things work. But in the story, it doesn't translate. Another thing is like the dude's final warning at the end of the story is like, stay in the darkness because it may not kill them. It doesn't kill them, but it sure slows them down.
Okay, where is the evidence of that?
The only evidence
Yeah.
I can think of is that when it was slowly moving through the room,
They
what
blew
was
up.
it?
They
They
blew
still
up an
died.
entire room of people before you woke up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I mean, I'm figuring when your parents blow up beside you, that's gonna wake you up.
Well, and I mean...
That's an explosion of person.
That is a deep sleeper.
And even if the explosion itself is silent, the gore splattering against the walls is pretty freaking noisy.
Yeah.
Or splattering against you.
Well, maybe, you never know. He might have had his +4 security blanket over his head.
Sure. I don't know. It's just, yeah. At the same time, smell it. Oh, just that part really irks me. It's like,
Dutch oven. Oh, it's worse out here. God, what do I do?
The other thing that I got to bring up with the story. Why is it called Starlight?
I already brought that up.
Because there's 2 stars.
Really? Is that, okay, so that's it. All right.
No.
That's
That's just the best you could come up with.
yeah.
I think it was because the writer wanted to convey that it was clearly aliens, when really there was no evidence to support that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! You just brought it up too. You brought it up earlier. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. God damn it! It might have been the sun.
Sorry, it reminds me of. It just makes me think of what's that toy from the '80s? The board you put the little things.
Oh,
in it
Nightlight.
to light up.
Nightbright.
Nightbright.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Light bright.
Light bright. That's it. Sorry, yeah, light bright. Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of.
nice. Yeah. Yeah. I just. Again, like it started kind of strong. Like I was interested to see where it was going to go, and then it just started like hiccuping and faltering, and then by the end, it just kind of felt like this would be the prologue to a YA novel, or just so many plot holes.
Yeah, actually, because I can actually boil it down to this story had a bad case of the hiccups, and nothing drives me crazy more than hiccups.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what it is. Like, it's just if it had just had somebody else, like an external party, take a look at it before he posted it, they could have solved
A lot of it
the
could have been
problems.
fixed.
Yeah, because it is an interesting story. Again, like unseen invaders killing us, like. And like again,
it's
like
not a horrible concept.
When he
The
describes
plot
the aliens,
isn't
like
even
how are they
awful.
killing
It just-
us? Like, yeah,
It just needs work.
yeah. It didn't have. It shouldn't have gone out as.
In
it
my
was.
humble, perfect opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So, anybody else have anything else, Mikey? Oh
Yes.
yeah. Sorry. Do you have? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, let's take a moment and talk about the elephant in the room. Sleep paralysis.
Damn it! I swear to God, on our birthday, man, on our birthday. All right,
Okay.
Colin.
The supposed alien only shows up twice, technically. And the first time, he's paralyzed. Second time, he's paralyzed.
Yeah.
The first time, he's lying down, which is synopsis with sleep paralysis.
Are you telling me that it isn't aliens?
Yes.
You son of a bitch.
That it's in fact just a hallucination.
No, it's just spontaneous human eruption.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's yeah, it's oh my God.
Well, I was going to go with the human popping virus, but... Well, because they explain at the
Russian
beginning.
popping
They explain
virus.
at the beginning
Like Mexican
that it's
jumping
potentially
bean,
a
but
virus.
Russian and virus.
Do they?
Yes.
I did not catch
That's why they're on lockdown and all that, because they don't want to
okay.
spread.
Okay, yeah.
Then,
See, I didn't get that impression that they were locking down because they thought it was a virus. I
No.
thought they were locking down because they were like, whatever's causing this isn't getting into our borders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I
it
figured.
seemed more like a quarantine from my perspective. So
See,
I'm with you, Mikey.
I was reading this in, like, alien invasion or monster invasion mode.
Yeah, same.
Like, when I was reading it, I was like, oh, okay, this is a monster invasion, be it alien or otherwise. Well, be it extraterrestrial or otherwise, because that way it's alien.
It's Mexican.
But,
Wow.
in Russia?
Yeah, that is a feat. It is an alien invasion.
That's why they
But,
call them wetbacks. Swam the whole way.
But,
Wow.
yeah, it like, I was in monster invasion mode.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I read it as, like, you know, oh, even though we can't see them if we close our borders, like, that regular I'm a moronic political leader kind of guy.
let's shut down our
So I'm
borders.
just we're just gonna shut our borders and hope it all goes away.
Yeah, exactly. And we wish Russia the best of luck. From Russia with love.
To Russia.
Yeah, to Russia with
jackass.
Yeah, to Russia with love. We hope you get better. But yeah, so you that's actually an interesting thing. That's just a plague that's afflicting humanity, and he's just sleep paralysis is what he thinks of the creatures.
Well, yeah, that's when it goes to creature, but it sort of makes sense because his friend explodes next to him. So
But he can't
he's
just
a contact. He's become infected. He could be a carrier.
Ooh, huh. That's an interesting take.
A typhoid Mary, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
the reason why he was in
the reason why everyone in that bunker exploded.
because they've been there for months with him in a small confined area with him.
Yeah.
So it circulated. Yeah. That is terrifying, actually. And that explains why he survived. Oh God, that's. I mean, again, I'm pissed off that's not that you're bringing up that's not aliens, but at the same time, it's almost a better story.
Yeah. As soon as you show him slowly descending into madness,
Yeah.
after that first explosion with his friend,
Yeah. Because he does like he wasn't prepared for it. He just snapped. He went into a fugue state for a bit.
For 15 minutes.
For exactly 15 minutes, 30 seconds maybe. Yeah.
and then that also potentially explains the light at the end could be people finding him.
Yeah. Like the other survivors kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I guess the other way it could have gone is what if the people exploding are actually not people dying? It's them shedding their humanity and becoming creatures of energy.
So
See, maybe they're not killing people. Maybe they're enlightening them. Bum.
maybe that's that huge energy emission that's coming off of it. It's actually
No. That's not.
Okay.
That's why they're blowing up, because their physical bodies can no longer contain the energy. So then they become beings of energy, and
that would actually give some credence to the crazy religious guy, Anchorman. He's like, I'm not meant for this world. The angels are coming for me.
Well, in my scenario, the
don't try
Anchorman
and give credence.
just
to that.
gives him fodder for his subconscious to create the alien or angel or what have you.
Yeah.
Because he is a fanatic religious person, as far as I can tell you. Very religious.
From the two sentences he says,
Yeah,
he
before
seems
he
like a pretty devout Christian in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only say that because, he refers to them as angels and not Valkyries or, whatever the Greek equivalent is.
Snow harpies.
Snow harpies!
I don't actually know what that would be in Greek mythology aside from snow harpies.
Well, it would have nothing to do with harpies.
Yeah, no. Anyways, yeah. Damn. Again, it's a valid idea. I actually really like that. I'm pissed that it's not aliens. Or that it's brought up that it's not aliens.
Also, it's not fucking in the story at all.
Yeah,
No.
so it is alien.
So-
for lack of a better... For the sake of the story, as written, it's aliens. But...
Yeah, there would really have to be a sequel done from somebody else's perspective of the people who found him
Yeah.
to
We found patient
really
zero.
prove your theory, Mikey. And I don't particularly want to read a sequel unless they actually get somebody to proofread it, and edit it, and
Maybe someone else to write it.
purchase a thesaurus.
But yeah, so... Anything else?
One other thing, but I think it just makes my reading of it more enjoyable.
One more thing.
Is that when they first introduce the alien, I got the excerpt here, it had the shape of a tall, disturbingly thin humanoid, but where the body should be, there was nothing. No abdomen, no limbs, no head. So I just envisioned no upper body. That's a nice pair of legs he got floating
See,
there.
you know what? I had the same kind of thing happen where I read that the first time, and I had to read it 3 times to realize what he was trying to get across.
Can you read that description again for me?
It had the shape of a tall, disturbingly thin humanoid,
Oh my God,
but
it's
where the
Slenderman.
body should be, there was nothing. No abdomen, no limbs, no head.
Okay, so it had a shape of a humanoid, but none of the parts that make a humanoid. No limbs,
Yeah,
no arms,
no,
no legs,
like-
no torso, no head. So, really, It had
What he was trying to get
line.
across, what he was trying to get across was that it was casting a shadow, but we couldn't see the thing itself. But yeah, when I actually had to read this, I remember reading that line like 4 times before I realized that, because I was trying to is it just is it like one of those creepy leg creatures that like are supposedly in California?
His legs would be limbs.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That puts a hole in your hole, and that's a nice pair of legs you got there too. But for you, I'm willing to let it slide. For him, no.
Never.
But going with
Why?
the legs, it actually gives the aliens purpose. They just want to make the humans more like them, so they're blowing up the top half.
You will achieve enlightenment.
Now she's just a leggy, not a leggy blonde.
The curtains match the drapes. She could still be a blonde.
I guess it's just drapes now. Carpet and drapes.
Yeah, carpet, whatever. Curtain and drapes. Those aren't similar at all.
Yeah, so when I was envisioning the creature, I figured limbs was just an error. Like it shouldn't have had no limbs there. So I pictured arms and legs with no body, just light.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I pictured it, because really I couldn't think of how else to picture this thing that they described as a humanoid, but is not in any way or shape or form humanoid.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it casts the shape of a humanoid. It casts the shadow of a humanoid, but it has no form itself.
Yeah, that we can perceive.
see, I just didn't get that from the description.
Again, it took me a couple of times to I did have to read over that like a couple of times to figure that out.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's a shitty description.
Yeah, I would definitely and it proves your point. Like, so there are some lines in the story that really need to just be like undo, redo, try a different angle at it.
Yeah,
because the way, and also like the way the door opened, like the way he said the door opens. It almost sounded like, I think the way he describes it, to me it sounded like the door was floating.
yes, that's actually how I pictured it. The whole door just floating along.
Yeah. It was okay. It was a really weird way of describing a door opening up or something, or the light. The light wasn't behind the door; it was past it. It was moving along with it. It was like, what?
Yeah, the door just drifted along towards me. Silently drifting towards me.
I didn't pass through the door so much as the door passed over me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really didn't sound like the door was, anchored or connected at all.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
anything.
It's just like, what the fuck is going on?
When is a door not a door? When it ain't attached to shit.
Yeah. Anything else, Mikey?
I've covered pretty much everything.
We have pretty much covered everything.
We've tackled the elephant in the room.
Okay, good. Yeah,
See,
She just had them lengthened.
I remembered
all
that.
the way up.
and I was like, fuck me, it's just gonna be a goddamn another sleep paralysis. And I just want to bring it up.
I just ignored it.
I was hoping it would just be ignored. I was hoping that all 4 of us would just fucking not bring up sleep
Just ignore
paralysis.
the
Because,
room.
yeah, sometimes you just gotta ignore the 20-foot tall elephant in the room, and the 20-foot tall angry gorilla, as I like to call it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was Starlight. I can't, in good consciousness, actually recommend it. Maybe conditionally, just to read it over, correct things, and then hand it back to Ben Cook, and it's like, here, this is what you need to do to fix it. But that's about it. There's potential in it.
Here's the story. Couple of pages. Here's my notes. A tome.
An hour and 30 minutes of audio file, as we have shown, I think. It's probably close to that. Anyway, yeah, it's just there's potential in this story, and I'd like to read it, but that better version, not this. So I can't.
Not a first draft.
Exactly.
Which is what this clearly is.
Yeah. It's as if you
Or
haven't been on
what
the show
it really
very long.
should be.
Yeah.
Because I swear,
So-
if this has been edited, if this is past the first draft, there's something wrong.
Yeah. So,
Well, I mean, it went through spell check.
Yeah.
There are no spelling errors.
Yes, there
there
is.
is.
Oh, really?
They clearly mean, at one point he poses something as a question ending in A, and it's been autocorrected to hey. So
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It went through spell check.
Not grammar check.
Nope. Yeah.
The words are spelled correctly. They might not make the sense in the order that they're in, kind of like that last sentence that I just said. But they were all spelled correctly.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I won't recommend this one. Everyone else?
Oh, absolutely! You should totally read this story. And by that I mean no. No. Unless you really want to torture yourself or go ahead and do the editing yourself.
Yeah.
Mikey, the E stands for you.
The exploding people was interesting,
Yeah.
like in concept, but the aliens had no purpose. Like, they had no real goal. Like, if their goal was to illuminate the Earth, why
Why
Blow
just
people
blow
up.
people up?
people up?
And if their goal was to blow people up, why didn't they blow everyone up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the motivation of the aliens is...
Yeah, he was going for inscrutable aliens when he really should have just given us a reason, or at least proposed a reason,
Or at least
rather
a
than
reason.
saying, "I don't know why they're trying to do this. We can't possibly know because they're super evolved beings of energy." Like, I get, like, again, like Lovecraft stuff. That's kind of the gist of it. But we usually get a reason, like some kind of like a purpose or like a
But
vague
that's-
idea of what's going on.
That's the
Yeah.
other thing, right? Is like in Lovecraft stuff, it's not just aliens. They're eldritch horrors. They're
still
magic.
alien. No, they're still aliens.
They're still magic.
Yes,
So
but
it's-
they are aliens that
Use magic.
are eldritch horrors.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, technically they're just beings from another planet, but they are fucked up.
Yeah, and I mean that's the same thing with this. It's just
Which means
we're
that you
given
could
this-
go the whole not science route with it, which would make the whole thing make more sense.
Yeah. It's more of a super. It should have
Sorry,
followed the more
Mikey,
supernatural.
I didn't mean to,
Yeah.
railroad over you there.
Oh, that's fine.
He's used to it.
Yeah. So
So, yeah. If you want a concept, think exploding humans, and then you don't need to read the rest of it, because, yeah.
get to the part where they shut down Russia's borders, and then hey, you're good. Everything turned out okay, except for in Russia. And then Dr.
See, now, apparently I am just a contrary motherfucker. Because although I acknowledge all of the fucking issues with this, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to excuse them, but I enjoyed the read. Not for its flaws, and I didn't ignore the flaws. The flaws are there, but I enjoyed it in the same way that when I was in high school and me and my buddy were in English writing together, and we just both gave each other our own stories for peer edits.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it, even though I'm like, okay, this needs to be fixed, what the fuck's going on here? I enjoyed it at that same level of, yes, I'm proofreading,
Yeah.
but there's still a salvageable, like, there's still
Yeah.
a story in here that I want the rest of. And I mean, like, it's, I don't want to say well enough thought out, but there's enough of a story here that while I'm proofreading, for lack of a better word, because I
That's pretty
really
much what
did
we've
feel
done.
like that's what I
Yeah.
was doing, that I was still able to, like, put together the final end result, and I liked that. It was a fun little romp, and honestly, I am a sucker for aliens, so maybe that's also part of it. But, I don't know, all of that shit kind of coalesced into this perfect storm of, yeah, against my better judgment, I enjoyed the ride of this story, and for that, like, I mean, take all of the criticisms to heart if you are going to go and read this, if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Like, yeah, I did enjoy the read. It's just there was a lot of holes.
Yeah.
It started off
I-
strong and then kind of like started faltering.
I guess I should also say that while I didn't particularly like everything that happened in this, it is one of the better creepypastas that I've actually read. Which isn't saying much because I've only read a handful, but I keep thinking in terms of comparing this against the published works that I've read, the ones that have actually gone through editors and publishers and been massively distributed.
Yes, and compared to that, this
Is
should
garbage.
be avoided at all costs.
Yeah.
But if I'm not comparing it against those and just
If you're
comparing it
comparing
against...
it to something your friend handed you to edit,
Okay, I could say that compared against some of the other stuff that I've edited in the past in creative writing classes and things like that, I would say it's not garbage.
No.
It needs work.
Yeah.
It absolutely needs work.
Yeah, like I said,
And I would love to see that.
And if I had a hard copy in front of me, it would be covered in red marker of things me circling, correcting for grammar, and definitely thesaurus and filled with awkward sentences, but there is a solid body of work hidden in there.
Mm-hmm.
So from an amateur writing perspective, it's not terrible. I still don't know that I would suggest it to somebody.
Yeah, my non-suggestion is my only suggestion for it would be conditional, like to look it over and re-edit and edit it, and then hand it back to the author.
honestly, the main
notes.
reason I'm recommending it is because the three of you universally said don't, and I
You are
agree with
contrary,
you.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I also think that someone should say yes because it shouldn't be universally reviled.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this
So
isn't a story that 4 out of
that's
4
why
people
I
should say is
went
garbage.
last, because if no one else was going to say read it, I wanted someone
To say read it?
say read it.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that one person being me, because I liked it enough to kind of say that as long as everyone else said no.
Fair.
It wasn't just to be contrary, it was to say that this isn't the worst piece of shit in the internet.
It's no Laughing Jack.
It's no Jeff the Killer. It's not even like it's no sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, like it was. I mean, and you know what? It had aliens. Despite Mikey's best attempt to prove otherwise. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's totes aliens.
It's not aliens.
Exactly. So I'm happy for that. Like
The Rogue Pirate TV station. Double negatives.
yeah.
The normal TV station.
Like yeah, again, like it. Yeah, it's. I did enjoy the read as well. It was proofreading, essentially. Was the majority. Even I was like, oh wow, no, that's wrong. All right. But yeah, it was a fun read otherwise. It's just, I can't recommend because it's this draft as is. So, I guess that's it for...
Like I say, I'm just making sure it gets its 1 star.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
yeah.
I'm not trying to give it 5.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't deserve 0.
Exactly, yeah. Like, Ben, if you're listening, keep at it.
Edit your shit to someone and edit, because then you won't get this embarrassment.
And perhaps not even, like, to a friend, like, somebody that you know will actually, like, proofread it, because sometimes friends, when they edit things,
Friends,
Do not-
unfortunately, sometimes let friends be gnomes.
they will try and coddle you, or coddle you.
Hey guys,
into,
I've got this
it's all
great
cool."
idea for a gnome character. Oh yeah, that is a great idea. Maybe he could be a halfling.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you don't like halfling. How about dwarf? I could see this character concept as a dwarf.
You know what? Half orc. But yeah,
Write it as a dragon.
all right. But yeah, seriously, like you got a good story there. Just edit.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me.
Edit, proofread, thesaurus.
Yeah.
By
So-
your powers combined.
I am a good creepypasta.
Man, I was going Power Rangers. Whoa.
Oh my god,
Like, man,
I just
it's a
realized
mega
something.
pasta.
Captain Planet creepypasta.
No. I
No,
won't.
not that.
I won't
Not that.
be-
I mean, the initials are the same. CP.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, 'cause I will not fucking read that story.
No.
I will comment on it, but I will not read it.
All right, fair enough.
And that comment will be no. No.
Are you kidding me? I can form an opinion without actually experiencing things.
But yeah, I think we'll leave off with that. It's been a good 2 years so far. So here's to another
I
2
see
years.
you're making liberal use of the word good.
Hey man, I've liked it.
It's almost NDP. It has been fucking 2 years.
Yep.
Here's to 2 more.
There have been lows and almost
And
sea level.
plateaus.
and almost sea levels.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love the top 5 horror films and top 5 guilty pleasure episodes.
Yep, and we almost... Yeah, well, okay, that was different,
Also-
because I didn't have to read a shitty story for that.
Also, man, come on. The episode with Happy Happy.
Yeah, but if you give me booze, I'm going to be happy with any episode.
That's true. So, yeah. That is our episode for this week. If you like what you heard, if you didn't, you can check it. Leave a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube. Dr. Leviathan and myself, Review Cultist, are on Twitter. And you can leave a review on iTunes. That'd be awesome of you. And you can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Where you can also where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, if you'd like, you can donate. Go to crazysoundstudios.tumblr.com where you can check out all the title cards for each episode. And on the side, there's a little donate button. So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm Captain Solanum.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.
Happy birthday! Checked her phone because she thought that she had a text message, and then she pulls out her phone and checks for a text message, but she didn't.
Alright.
And it's just like filled with that. It's actually really funny.
Order?
What?
Are we doing the order
What do you mean?
of
order?
introductions?
Oh, yeah. So,
Order.
Review Cultist, Dr. Leviathan, Mikey, and Captain Slim is a special
Alright.
guest.
Just making sure.
You're a regular host at this point. So
Okay.
You get precedent, or not precedent, you get preferential treatment.
So I outright gotcha.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
You mean Mikey, the E stands for evil, outranks me? That's Mikey, the evil. E stands for evil, outranks me.
Sir!
These fucking 90-minute episodes are killing my bladder.
And that is going to be the B-roll. 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 The B-roll.